This one will go into the series, Killing Famous Sayings. We have been teaching here that you and I must be very careful with famous sayings, things that people say, and they speak so often that becomes a saying. And because people hear often the same thing, they end up believing because everybody is saying it. And this is a great danger. And it's not because everyone is saying that that is true. So you must at least question the sayings that are molding or influencing your decisions. I'm not saying that all popular sayings are wrong, but not all are right. And many are harmful and wrong, and others are half-truths. They apply only in some instances, but not always right. Let's go to the popular saying that we will debunk, that we will kill it. Most probably you heard it or you said it many times. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Who hasn't heard it or said it? The voice of the people is the voice of God. Let's understand what this means in the light of the Word of God. Naturally, this saying means that if most people, if the crowd are crying out or affirming something, it can only be right. So right, it is as if it were God Himself speaking. Is that true? If this were true, so the crowd, they shouted, "Crucify Him." Was that God? Okay. God predicted, prophesied that, but was not God saying that. In reality, because it was the crowd, the people, and because they are easily influenced, usually say things that they don't even know what they are saying. People, at times in a natural way, or just for the sake of doing it, they can't go deep into all subjects. For example, why do the powers of this world use mass media so efficiently? TV series, radio, Hollywood. Why? Why do the powers use what the people consume or like to consume to insert their ideas? So people are influenced by what they consume. Therefore, the powers want to manipulate people and thus insert the ideas they want them to embrace in the content they most use. And suddenly, people are repeating what the celebrity said, what they watched, what they sung. They are repeating it without even knowing it. Why? Because they were influenced to think like that. That's not necessarily God's voice. Actually, if you look at the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 2, is written this: "You shall not follow a crowd to do evil." You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many, to pervert justice. In other words, the Bible teaches us to be careful with the crowd and the majority. The Bible teaches us that often the crowd and the majority are doing evil. So how can the voice of the people be the voice of God? How can that be? It's just because they are the majority. No, because the majority can do evil. They can pervert justice, twist justice. Things are twisted, as nowadays, things are so absurd, you can no longer say the right. You can be lynched socially, virtually, you can be cancelled. If you say something as clear as sunlight, you can be lynched, you can be cancelled, because the right has turned wrong and the wrong turned right. Why? Because people are saying it. Because people are saying it, affirming it. So when people start to affirm something, those who hear it start to think, maybe that's true. If everyone is talking, if everyone is saying it, it must be true. You must be very careful. The great truth is that those who want to hear the voice of God usually will live in the minority and not the majority. They won't do what people say, what people do, what they ask or affirm, what is popular. They will be unpopular. As Jesus said, they will walk through the narrow gate, they will walk in a narrow path, they won't walk among the crowd. They will walk far from them. This is the word of God. So whoever wants to hear God's voice must silence the voice of the crowd. Look how different it is from the popular saying. He who wants to hear God's voice must silence the voice of the people. What they must do, they must sink into God's voice, because God doesn't need the people's voice to speak. He speaks directly through His word. The Bible must be within your reach. It can be at your hand reach, by your bed, in a drawer. You have the Bible there. If you want to hear God's voice, you read the Bible. You pray. Before reading it, ask God for direction, and He will speak to you. And what the Bible doesn't say explicitly, because the Bible gives direction, you won't speak about certain details. Should I remove my tooth? The Bible won't tell you if you should remove your tooth, or if you should treat it before removing it. Am I right? But if you want a direction of what God doesn't say explicitly, He gives direction about the decisions we must make. You can pray, you can ask. The Spirit of God was given to us to direct us into what is not plainly explained, clearly said in the Scriptures. Then the Scriptures promise the Spirit of God Himself to guide us. So if I consult and follow the Spirit of God, He will guide me into the good decision, the good path. So be very careful with the trends, the popular movements. Be careful with the popular tendencies. What is trending? What is trending on the internet with hashtags? Be careful with the novelty, because the crowd, the tendency of the crowd is to walk in the path contrary to the path of God. Oh, if it was so easy, that easy, if it was true that the voice of God was the voice of the people, so the majority would be obeying God. The world's majority would be following God's desire, and the world would be a paradise. But as you can easily verify, this is one more lie that became a popular saying, and people repeat it, say it, and the worst thing is that some people make decisions based on the crowd. Everybody's doing it. All my friends did it. Am I right? I decided to do it because now is the trend. It's normal. Now is this or that. The person tranquilizes themselves in the fact that everybody's doing it or affirming something. That's why salvation will be for a few, would not be for many. Salvation will be for a few. Not because God wants it, but because the majority don't want to truly hear God's voice. They hear the voice of the people, and they're mistaken by thinking that the voice of the people is the voice of God. Most times, is the voice of the devil himself. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.